Hello buddy, Insane Frame here, welcome to another video on the channel. In our last video we did Fallout 4 260 power armor. Got to admit that was really cool and definitely a challenge I can recommend doing. However, today we're going to move off to the Mojave Wasteland in New Vegas, and we're going to ask a question, which is, can you beat Fallout New Vegas using reload benches? The rule is very simple. We can't buy any ammo this run and we'll have to rely on reload benches and whatever we can find. However, we can also use any ranged weapon providing it does have ammo. So I think a tactic of trying to get many different weapons using different types of ammo is going to be an excellent strategy. I'm going to go on record and say this is going to be quite an easy challenge to what I normally do, but once we're off the ground it's going to be a lot of fun and we can complete the trio craft and bench challenges. So let's just quickly go over the rules. We may only use ranged weapons. No merchants are allowed, ammo can be crafted or looted off enemies, and as usual, no glitches or exploits, no cheating or modding, but we're going to be playing on very hard difficulty with hardcore enabled. So with all that out the way, let's go ahead and go on in. So, as with most runs, we start on off with Doc Mitchell, and I decided to put myself on the chopping block here. No reference here today, unless you count me as a reference when we create our character. But anyway, we have a mohawk, so all is good. Nick Nitro would be proud, as would Chip Hazard. As my stats, I decided to go for a very average run-of-the-mill build with 4s to 6s in our stat blocks, but we do go all in on intelligence, as improving our actual skills will be extremely useful this run. Anyway, we get to our skill points by taking 3 skills, which raises their respective score by 15 points, which is pretty good. So we go for guns, sneak and repair, which is excellent. However, we decide to not go for any traits this run, as we're going to be using a very wide array of weaponry, so no specializations here. We also dump all of our items into a container to not give an advantage when we start. However, we do decide to repair the 9mm machine gun and make some stim packs at the chem set. We also enable hardcore mode, so we have to watch our food, water and sleep, or suffer the consequences with our special stats, and in severe circumstances even death, so fun times. We decide to immediately visit Sunny Smiles, since we can get the varmint rifle early on and get some easy ammo out of it. So we shoot some bottles and then bag some geckos and end the tutorial. We head on over to Prim, the town nearest to Goodsprings, and we decide to go against some guys for some ammo, as well as a 9mm pistol. A fairly good starting weapon, frankly, with okay accuracy, so definitely a huge plus there. Go to the Goodspring source, an area that has access to water, a bed and a campfire. We also find a random person and decide to end them for a level up. We put points into repairing guns and we decide to get junk rounds for our perks, so we can get some early rounds here and there. It's already time to go to the main area, so we decide to walk on over and go through the hidden valley. We run for a fence and we manage to hug the wall to avoid some death claws in the area, so we sneak on by whilst trying to stay out of their clutches. Once we're in, we decide to go straight to our point of interest, which is Boulder City, and we speak to the NCR lieutenant and he lets us in to try and smooth things over with the Great Khan. We go and speak to Jessup to ask where Benny is. He doesn't answer, but we do gain 2 amazing level ups, so we put our points into guns and repair, making them at 63 and 50 respectively. Not bad, especially this early on. For our perk, we decide to go for Confirmed Bachelor, which allows us to do 10% more damage to male opponents, and we have access to unique dialogue to some NPCs of the same sex, which is fair enough, I guess. We untie the NCR soldiers and set the soldiers into firing against the Great Khans. The Great Khans all pretty much get wiped out, and they have some excellent loot, as they have 10mm submachine guns, which will prove extremely useful. They also have lots of ammo on them, so all is well. Since we have access to the main area, we decide to travel south from the trade post and we make our way to the Brockflower Cave. Once we're there, we use our 10mm submachine gun that we got from the Great Khans to finish off the giant rats. We then get the one, the only, the beautiful rifle that is the Rat Slayer. You know it, you love it, is going to be an absolute staple in this run, as it takes 5.56 rounds, and we now have a reliable weapon to gain a lot of ammo. After obtaining the Rat Slayer, we level up and we put all our points into guns, and we go back to Boulder City. We begin by taking out the NCR soldiers so we can take their ammo, solving our ammo problem. Now we just need access to better weaponry, so the early game is now sorted. We decide to go to Camp Golf at night time and begin eliminating their numbers. I think this is a sign of things to come, but hey, it's free XP and ammo, and eventually we take out enough troops to level up, which is excellent. We decide to get some guns and survival so we can cook some food. We also decide to get Bloody Mess, our perk, which increases our damage by 5%, which is always good. We continue our onslaught against Camp Golf, and once we're done, it's time to go back to Good Springs. We see Trudy and Joe arguing, so we go outside to see Joe run away, and we decide to put an end to him immediately. We decide to make the powder gangers fear us and begin hunting them, as they give excellent experience and die very easily. So we get to sniping duty, and once they learn their lesson, it's time to go into the facility. Once we kill some powder gangers, we gain a level up and we spec into guns and repair. And once our level up is done, it's time to see Eddie and co. We take them out one by one like a silent assassin, but then Eddie gets some special treatment as we use the 10mm submachine gun on him to make him dance all over the place. We decide to go to the north for Good Springs, and we keep our distance as we shoot the castors in the area, which is marvellous. Once through the ravine and near the Great Khans, we decide to go ahead and kill some big hoarders. The experience levels us up and we get our guns to 100 and our repair to 60, which is lovely. But more importantly, for our perk, we decide to go for Scrounger. I've never taken Scrounger in New Vegas, but not sure how effective it's going to be, but it's worth a shot at least. We start shooting down the Viper gang and we manage to loot some combat armor, which is really useful for us. So we immediately equip it, and we also kill a second leader and get a trail carbine, which is just a really good weapon in general, a very, very solid mid-game weapon. The Great Khans are next on our list, and they just get eliminated almost immediately, as the Rat Slayer is really making this simple for us. Just very sorry, Great Khans, you never seem to be able to catch a break with these playthroughs. Anyway, we get a hunting shotgun, which is beautiful as it blows Jack to pieces. But with all our loot, we're almost armed to the teeth, and we grab multiple doses of turbo for random giggles. Don't worry, we won't be using it, however we do eliminate every last Great Khan. They're worth the XP, everyone, so what's not to love? We're not letting the NCR get away with things though, as we bully them once more to get more ammo, and we level up. We decide to get lots of repair skills, so we go and knock on the Fiend's door, and we start sniping Driver Neffy and his crew. Our Rat Slayer makes short work of them, and we can maintain a safe distance from them to plink away at them, and Driver Neffy gets lots of bullet holes in his body until we eventually kill him no problem. Violet is next, and it's probably the most straightforward of the lot, as she gets the same treatment as Driver Neffy, so 2 down, 1 more to go. And Cook is the most curious, as all the Fiends for some reason are doing something, and when we come to look, Cook is already dead on the ground, so we just remove his head from his body. Our side quest is complete, so all is well. We get to Freeside, and since we don't have enough caps to get through to the strip, we decide to destroy the Securitron to our Rat Slayer. We just hang back, fill them with holes. It does take a lot of ammo, but since we have a large surplus, it's not too much of a bother. So thank you NCR for granting us access to kill these robots and getting the keys off them. We head into the New Vegas strip, and once we're in the strip, all hell breaks loose as I give in to my insanity and start destroying everyone for quick XP. It is most excellent as they cannot stand up to our firepower, so much so we get a level up. As it turns out, civilians are very good XP, so we decide to go for the repair skill, and for our perk we go for handloader. I rarely take this perk, but we'll take it for the nature of this run, as it will give the odd ammo here and there. We absolutely devastate the New Vegas strip and gain the Lord of Death perk. Excellent. We even go into the monorail station and start killing the NTR forces there for even more XP, as we just don't stop. The Tops Casino is next, and we use our 9mm pistol as we have a lot of 9mm rounds for it, and the enemies can't seem to handle it, which is hilarious. However, we do level up as we kill Benny's bodyguards for shotgun to the face, and we decide to get 100 repair skill. We even get some survival skill on top of that as well. It's back to using our Rat Slayers. We completely clear out the casino and put Benny in our sights, and we take his block off. We get the platinum chip from him as we're a menacing force, and we then go to the New Vegas strip once more. But when we're outside, we get approached by both envoys, and we accept the Legion's invite. Have we also murdered both the envoys too? We level up in the process. We decide to get 40 sneak and up our survival a little bit. For our perk, we decide to go ahead and get shotgun surgeons. Our shotgun attacks now ignore 10 armor, which is very powerful indeed. I decided to grind off screen on the strip for a little bit by letting everyone spawn back in and just keep attacking everyone on sight. We do level up a couple of times and decide to gain the perk Cowboy, so our lever action rifles and revolvers do 25% more damage, which is simply ludicrous. We decide to go into the White Glove Society and go into their kitchen and go ahead and grab a flamer. We decide to set all of the dinner guests alight, see how they like being cooked alive, and it's not looking great for them. We use our riot shotgun that we got from the Gamora Casino during our off-screen grind to devastate devastating effect. The area afterwards is something out of a literal horror movie, so we'll just have to move things along from here. It's kind of fairly unpleasant. We go back and make some ammo and we go on to Cottonwood Cove, but we have to make a stop at Camp Searchlight to snipe more NCR to gain more experience and take their ammo. We also gain a level up, we put points into survival for good measure. But once we get to Cottonwood Cove and mark it on our map, we decide to go back to the Lucky 38 and we decide to kill Victor at the entrance, and the damn mad lad had 20 missiles on him. We'll be taking a few of them for ourselves, thank you very much. Once we get into the Lucky 38, we just keep destroying everything in our path as they're just mere obstacles. Once we kill 2 more Securitrons and kill Victor again, we go up to the penthouse and fight more forces, however they're outclassed as they don't understand. We then beat them back no problem and realise nobody is on the screen, so we just go ahead and destroy 2 more Securitrons in the control room. Once they're no more, we pay Mr. House a visit face to face and use Maria on him to put some 9mm bullets in his skeleton. Once we're done, there's people on the strip, so we put a stop to that as well, as we must have our cup of tea in peace, people. We got to cool off. The insane power is just too much to use all the time. Anyway, we travel to meet with Caesar, the tomato himself. He is very much a fan of our work and puts us to use. He wants us to use the platinum chip in the weather station, so we do just that. And when we get into the weather station, we use Maria to clear the way no problem, so we can just shoot first, ask questions later. And when we get to the console, we upload the Mark II upgrade. However, we also destroy the generators as well, making the bunker fill up with radiation, so we get the heck out of there. We speak to Caesar again. He's impressed with our work thus far, and we're then tasked with getting the boomers on our side, which will be interesting. We get a level up and we decide to go for survival, and for our perk we decide to go for jury rigging, so we can now repair our equipment with a wider range of items, which is an absolute lifesaver for us. Go to the Crimson Caravan Company and they use a lever action shotgun, which we decide to use against them to save on ammo and destroy them in their entirety. So once we're warmed up, it's time to go say hello to the boomers, and their barrage tries to hit us. However, we find our safe spot, and once we wait the barrage out, we decide to go run into the fence. We make sure to take out a couple of the guards to make sure to show our authority towards them. However, the guard at the gate has quite the tone with us, which is not a good thing to do. So when Raquel has a post block in her face for some unexplainable reason I really couldn't tell you, we're then escorted to Pearl when she's not the most charismatic of leaders, calling us a savage, which to be fair isn't actually too far from the truth. So we go ahead and decide to kill her for her ill manners, and when we do, we find Raquel outside with some boomers, which is hilarious as we manage to easily dispatch them, no problem, as they simply don't understand the power of T. It's simply perfect and unbeatable, and they have no chance against us as we're armed with a lever action shotgun. Once Raquel falls, we decide to pick out a missile launcher of our choosing and then chase Loyal around with our shotgun, which is just comedy gold, as he then decorates the room accordingly. We leave the boomers as their leaders are dead and they cannot recover, and we report to Caesar, and he mentions the White Glove Society before getting a chronic pain in his head. So we come back the next day and he wants us to destroy the Brotherhood chapter in the Hidden Valley, which we'll gladly do. So we go to the Hidden Valley and go into the bunker where the Brotherhood is still located, and when we greet them we're told to strip down to our undergarments and we're thrown in front of Elder McNamara. This simply will not do, but we then get one worse, and we're fitted with an explosive slave collar and told to deal with an NCR ranger. So we leave the bunker, we go up topside and we find the ranger and kill him. Very simple. When we report back to Elder McNamara, he decides to scold us, so we do the only same thing and go down to the second floor and begin killing the scribes accordingly. The Elder then shows up and is also killed like the melon he is, and then we use our missile launcher to great effect, destroying one of the Elder's paladins. Once that's done, we decide to launch missiles at the scribes, which really hurts them, and they don't seem to get the message that we're not dilly-dallying anymore, as we use our riot shotgun to cause a riot. And we show them who's boss, and it certainly isn't the Elder, so go figure. The second paladin gets pelted with grenades from the grenade rifle that we got from the boomers until he's blitzed into oblivion and the jaws are closed shut on him. Since that worked so well on him, we do the same to the head paladin and it works like an absolute charm as it destroys him very quickly. So we gather up all the key cards and initiate the self-destruct sequence, which will blow the bunker sky high. We don the disguise and simply walk out, and bunker goes boom. A very entertaining end to the Brotherhood of Steel. We report back to Caesar and he wants us to go to Vault 34 in order to get his auto dock up and running again. So we journey on and find some geckos out in the wild near our objective, and once they're dead, We enter the cave and get to the entrance of the vault. The enemies here are ghouls that were former vault dwellers, so we arm ourselves with our 10mm submachine gun, and it does the job fantastically, as the hostiles in the area are swiftly and efficiently dealt with in phenomenal fashion. We then see the auto dock and we strip it for spare parts and get the heck out of here. When we return to Caesar, we decide to let the auto dock do its thing and remove the tumour from Caesar's head. We level up from the process. For handing the quest in, we decide to go for survival, and as for our perk, we go ahead and get adamantium skeleton, so our limbs suffer 50% less damage as a result. A absolute must-have perk, especially for a little bit later. Caesar then tasks us with killing the NCR president, Aaron Kimball, which is fair enough, I guess. So we meet Kato, our partner in crime for this mission, and he hands us an NCR disguise. This is actually quite easy, as all we have to do is go over to the control panel and sabotage the gun to explode, whilst Kimball is giving a speech. Sure enough, President Kimball arrives, gives a speech, and exactly as planned, the gun explodes, causing quite the commotion with fiery results. However, we're far enough away as we can just walk away as if nothing happened, which is, I guess why Caesar hired us to do the job. Caesar's impressed with us and decides now it's time to attack Hoover Dam, so we get the prompt and we decide we're ready to go ahead. We start out in the Legate camp, which honestly just feels weird, but sure I guess, and we go into the Legate tent. He decides to brief us and says that we need to kill General Oliver, and once we do that, the NCR will fall, so we get to it. We leave the Legate camp, again this feels odd but sure, and when we get to the bridge we decide to hang back with the Rat Slayer and give some fire support, which works extremely well. The Legion swarms the enemy on the bridge, and the first part of the bridge is surprisingly easy. The second part has snipers in the towers, but it's not really any fuss, for we can just gun them down no problem. We let the Legion push forwards, we go into the pipework and access the terminal, and a Centurion reports to us. We press on to overwhelm the NCR. We see a few troopers trying to defend, but it's just too much. Our teammates easily dispatch them. Once inside, we get to the reception area where there are some heavy troopers. So we use our hunting rifle to destroy their health bars. It does take a dozen of attempts as their armor is pretty tough, but our persistence pays off as we get a couple of decent crits off on them, allowing the tide to turn in our favour, which is marvellous. We then have to run through the power plant where the fighting is fierce, however we don't really have to focus on any of it as we just progress forwards. We do get an NCR heavy trooper armed with a minigun, but it's not too bad as we do have Legion in the area to help us out. We shoot the silly Billy and we eventually get to the end and heal up, ready for our final confrontation with General Oliver. General Oliver talks down to us, so we immediately get to work. We show him what for as we carve through his forces, thinning them out no problem. Just being a pain to the NCR in general, as they think we're the Grim Reaper at this point. We venture in, we have a veteran ranger try and sneak off on us, so we unload our trail carbine into him, really making sure he gets the message and that he bites the dust. One down, one to go. We came prepared for this one, so we decided to get our missile launcher out, and rather than aim for the ranger, we aim for the back wall as he changes position. It works out very well as it softens him up nicely, so our Rat Slayer can use a volley or two to take him down. We carefully make our way forwards and disarm some of the traps, but when we get to the ranger who was sniping us, he has what we're looking for, which is an anti-material rifle with 7 rounds. This will make General Oliver a piece of cake, and he also has a shocking 10 super stim pack. This is just bonkers. So when we go to General Oliver's office, we use the anti-material rifle to one-shot a heavy trooper, which is great. General Oliver decides he wants to try and annoy us, but he very quickly hits the ground and isn't getting up again. We go into a couple of offices and we one-shot both of the guards accordingly. So we now only have 2 heavy troopers left, who are General Oliver's personal guard, who have done a terrible job. So we shoot one of them to heavily damage them and we retreat round the corner. We use our trail carbine to fill the injured one with lead, taking him out, and then for the last guy we just run like a madman, like our lives depend on it, as he chases us around. But once we take him down, we win. We go on through the hall that General Oliver laid the traps with, we go through the door to speak with the Legate, ending the run answering the question, can you beat Fallout New Vegas with loading benches? Then yes you can, but the NCR will blimmin' hate you for it. Okay, so that was as predicted, really easy and not very challenging, but we finished the Workbench Trio series in New Vegas. I knew this would be easier than the others and I knew it would be quite simple, but I didn't want to overlook it, so it's there now. The Rat Slayer just got us all the 5.56 ammo we wanted from the NCR and we could just farm camp golf all day long. As for the final boss, I just sided with the Legion to get that anti-material rifle, as we can just eliminate all of the troopers, which is simple. So yeah, not a lot to say really, quite straightforward and quite easy. As for the next video, we're going to go over to Skyrim and we're going to be experimenting with poison. We'll be using a 4 because it does 1 damage and the poison will do the rest of the job for us. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, like the video if you like the video, comment down below if you want to say hi, and subscribe if you're new. I hope you enjoyed this video. You're all amazing people, you're all good, you know the drill by now. Please do look after yourselves and please do have an excellent day and an excellent time. I wish you all the best. This is Insane Frames signing off. Have an excellent day everybody, and I'll be seeing you in the next video. Ta-ta for now.